Leonardo DiCaprio and Rolex. Now, on the surface, it makes total sense. You've got an Oscar-winning actor, somebody who likes to date people half his age. No, this channel is going to get me to a lot of trouble. But no, in all seriousness, when you look at it from off the bat, it makes total sense. That partnership, he's super famous. People want to be like him. But when you dig a little deeper, and to be perfectly honest, once I watched the promotional content on the YouTube channel for Rolex and that the announcement, it made no sense whatsoever. But before I get into it, I might as well introduce myself. Now, if this is the first video you've come across, I'm Jag from Jag's Watches. And if you're looking for casual watch content, a channel that doesn't take itself too seriously, you're in the right place. I post 3 times a week, so make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon. So going back to the video, Leonardo DiCaprio and Rolex. Now, as I said, when I first heard about this announcement, it made total sense. He's a super famous, super successful actor, and a great actor, might I add. And I didn't really think much of it, but when I watched the promotional video on YouTube, he just stuck out like a sore thumb. If you haven't watched it, I'm going to be playing it over this video, no doubt. There are many elite athletes in the video, the likes of Roger Federer, for me, who is the most epic Rolex ambassador. You've got people like Alcaraz, another tennis player. You've also got Tiger Woods as well, again, an iconic golfer, iconic athlete. And then at the end, you have Mr. DiCaprio in a very nice tux, just kind of saying hello and cheersing to everyone. And it's clear they wanted to emphasize, Rolex wanted to emphasize the announcement and put the spotlight on Leonardo DiCaprio because he's the thumbnail of the video as well. And it just doesn't make sense to me. Now let's break this down and figure out why it doesn't make sense. And now, of course, put a little caveat in there. This is my opinion. For some of you, probably think it makes sense and you end it there. But look, I run a channel and I thought it was quite interesting to talk about this. Rolex has always been very selective with who represents their brand. And it's quite clear to see that you've got Roger Federer, one of the greatest tennis players of all time, somebody who embodies precision, longevity, and excellence. And then you've got people like James Cameron, a deep sea explorer, innovator, and record breaker. These are individuals who, in my opinion, align perfectly with Rolex's core values of achievement, adventure, and pushing boundaries. Now let's look at DiCaprio. This guy is an Oscar-winning actor, as I've mentioned, a climate activist, and yeah, sure, a big name, one of the biggest names. But what does he really have to do with Rolex? He's never really been associated with extreme sports, precision engineering or technology or horology in any serious way. And in fact, for years, he was actually strongly linked with TAG Heuer. So why the sudden shift now to Rolex? Now here's where things get a little interesting. DiCaprio built his image as a passionate environmentalist, constantly talking about sustainability, reducing carbon footprints and protecting the planet. And now Rolex, on the other hand, is the ultimate luxury brand. They make watches that people sit on waitlists for and sit on waitlists for years still. A brand that thrives on exclusivity and prestige. Now, does that really fit with somebody who preaches about cutting back on luxury excess? Now, I get it. Rolex has the Perpetual Planet Initiative, which supports ocean conservation and climate research. But let's be real. Does anyone think of Rolex as an environmental brand? I personally don't, and I'm sure many of you watching the video don't either. It feels like a mismatch. So what's really going on here? My guess, it's all about branding. It's all about Rolex trying to tap into a new audience, I guess, using a massive A-list celebrity to give them almost an extra mainstream appeal. Maybe they're hoping that DiCaprio's star power will make Rolex seem a little bit more accessible to the younger buyers. Or maybe they just want a famous name who hasn't already tied himself to a luxury brand. We've seen recently with Longines and Henry Cavill. That for me makes more sense, if I'm going to be completely honest. It fits his USP. It just fits him as a character, fits him as an actor. But again, I feel like this particular partnership is a little forced. And I think it's just for that extra mainstream appeal. There's nothing wrong with that. At the end of the day, for me, I think it just doesn't feel like a natural fit. It feels forced. I think Rolex has always been about timeless icons. And I guess you could argue that DiCaprio is a timeless icon. And in the future, he will become that timeless icon. But they tend to pick people that I think truly embody the DNA of Rolex. As I mentioned, Federer, now Tiger Woods, James Cameron. But with DiCaprio, it feels like it's more of a forced PR move rather than being a genuine connection. A genuine person that embodies and represents what the brand stands for, I guess. But hey, look, that's just my take, and I'm really curious to see what you guys think. This is what this channel's all about. I want it to be a community of watch enthusiasts that get to share their opinion in the comments. So make sure you let me know what you think. Does DiCaprio actually fit Rolex's image, or is it just a weird celebrity endorsement that doesn't make any sense? Drop your thoughts in the comments and let's get the conversation going. Am I completely wrong? And I know there's so many DiCaprio fans out there, and rightly so. He's an amazing actor, and I want to get that out there. I'm a personal fan of his. I think he is one of the greatest actors of my generation. And it's not that I'm trying to hate on him. I just feel like maybe it is just the promotional content. I don't know who edits. It's not just Rolex, but you've got Patek Philippe and AP coming out with some terrible PR material, in my opinion. Terribly put together, and as I said, DiCaprio is really out of place in this one. Let me know what you think in the comments, and as usual, if you've enjoyed the content, if you've been enjoying the videos on my channel so far, make sure you like, subscribe, and make sure you stay connected for the next one. I've been Jag from Jags Watches, and remember, timing is everything. Peace.